For those of you who don't know me, I'm Brad Darahilo, Assistant Director of Communications for Rutgers Athletics. In just a few moments, we'll have Scott Goodell in his press conference for Wrestling Media Day, and then we'll be joined by Anthony Ashnault, Nick Soriano, Nick Gravina, John Van Brill, and Matthew Carenti. They'll be available at the back tables behind you. And then there is lunch, so that's always a plus. Just real quick, I just want to do a quick rundown of last season. Last year, Rutgers Wrestling had their best finish at NCAAs in program history with an 11th place finish, 42.5 points. It was highlighted by the program's first national finalist, Nick Soriano, as well as All-American Scott Delvecchio. It was the third consecutive season with two or more All-Americans under Goodell. Rutgers finished with an 8-7 dual record in 2017-18. It was the 11th consecutive winning season for Goodell. He now has 161 career wins. He needs 6 more to be the program's all-time leader in that category. This season, Rutgers returned 6 wrestlers with NCAA championships experience, including 3-time All-American Anthony Ashnault. Ashnault enters the year as a number 2 ranked wrestler at 149 pounds, according to Intermat. He has 91 career wins, needs 27 wins to become the all-time wins leader here at Rutgers. We'll also have Nick Soriano back for his junior campaign after a 25-1 record in 2017-18. He's also ranked number 2 at 125 pounds. Nick Gravina, John Van Brill, Matthew Carenti, and Jordan Pagano also have NCAA championships experience, and they return as well. Goodell also has the number 12 ranked recruiting class, according to Intermat, number 12 in the country. In the preseason poll, Rutgers was ranked number 13 as a tournament team and number 18 as a dual team by Intermat. That's highlighted by number 2 Soriano, number 2 Ashnault, number 9 John Van Brill at 157 pounds, and number 13 Nick Gravina at 184. Our 2018-19 schedule consists of 9 preseason ranked foes, including 5 set to visit the RAC, including number 3 Oklahoma State, number 5 Michigan, number 7 Nebraska, number 18 Princeton, and number 21 Wisconsin. Season tickets, we just reached over 2,900 for the year. It's the 4th consecutive season wrestling has set a program mark for season tickets sold. So that's a good thing. Finally, in July, we'll open the RWJ Barnabas Health Performance Center, which will be the new home for Rutgers Wrestling. Features 3 mats, coaches' offices, and a locker room for 30 wrestlers. So without further ado, we'll bring head coach Scott Goodell up to the podium.
Thanks, guys. Let me just. Here? Cool. All right, I want to start by welcoming everybody. Thanks for being here. Lex, always good to see you, buddy. Welcome aboard. Thank the media for all you guys do for us. Through my 12 years here, you guys give us unbelievable amount of work, and you put a lot of time into our wrestling program, and the coverage is unbelievable. So I appreciate you guys coming out for another media day. Brad, thanks for putting this together. As always, again, continuing to keep Rutgers wrestling relevant through the spring, summer months, and all through the year, is keeping it on everybody's mind. So I appreciate all you do. Our Vision guys as well, all your coverage throughout the year. I know that's a lot of work. You got a lot of sports to deal with. And again, wrestling's right up there at the top with all of our coverage. So again, I appreciate you guys. Some quick updates, and Brad gave you a little bit of it. Season tickets very, very close to 3,000. That's really, really huge. This place is going to be electric. It's going to be a lot of fun. But we're just about getting ready to hit that 3,000 mark. That'll come out shortly. We're super excited about that. That's a lot of work by our ticket people, our marketing people, Lisa Carone and her crew, PJ and his crew. So we're excited that we've gotten that far. It's been a long way since day one, 22 people on College Ave, so I appreciate all their hard work. As he said, the update on the APC, which everybody should just take a walk outside, take a look at. It's an unbelievable building. It's coming along. We were able to tour it last Tuesday. Myself, Coach Pollard, Coach Pritzloff were able to get up there and take a look at our facility, 2nd floor. The wrestling room is absolutely huge. It's beautiful. Even though it's all concrete right now, it's still really, really nice, and there's a lot of space. So we certainly look forward, and from what I understand, we're on schedule for that. Schedule change real quick, and I don't know if this is kind of old news, but there was a schedule change. Maybe I figure last month we did it. We moved Ryder from December 15th to December 16th, which is a Sunday. I'm pretty sure you guys all know that, but that is our one schedule change, so that's good. And then, of course, this week coming up, if you didn't know, we'll have our indicator matches slash wrestle-offs, whatever you want to call them. It's the one thing really we're really unsure what we're going to have November 3rd, who our starters are going to be, at what weight. We did certify a lot of guys down a weight from what they're normally used to doing, so there's a lot of options going forward. We won't know our lineup really, and we'll get a better idea come Monday, but we have a lot of guys that have certified down. Some guys stayed up, obviously, and so it could be a whole different look come Monday with indicator matches. And that'll be closed to the public. That'll be Saturday morning, 10 a.m. in our annex above College Ave Wrestling Room. Injuries, from a surgical standpoint, we had a couple surgeries in the offseason. Obviously, Anthony didn't have a surgery, but got his 6th year. He's at full strength. Jordan Pagano had a slight surgery on his elbow. Full strength right now. Looks really, really good. Gravina's coming along nicely. He had a surgery in the offseason, a 3rd surgery on his shoulder, but he's coming along really, really nicely, and he's probably ahead of schedule. Maybe get the okay here to maybe start getting on the mat. Just to avoid any confusion, I don't know, I'm sure the question will be asked anyway, but he's going to go when he's ready to go. We won't push him. In a perfect world, we'd like to see him first semester, but that's going to be totally up to Nick Gravina and how he feels, where he's at, and if we have to wait, we'll wait. But it's always tricky when you just say, let's just wait till 2nd semester, because as we all know, 2nd semester is the Big Ten. So you'd like to get a couple matches earlier if we could do that, but again, that's going to be up to Nick, how he feels in his mind, his mental state when it comes to that injury. 2 guys that we've lost for the year. Nick Santos tore an ACL in the middle of the summer. He'll be done for the year. Was probably going to redshirt anyway, but unfortunately we won't have him for the year. And Zach Firestone just had surgery yesterday, so he'll be, and I'm not sure if it's the whole year, but it's probably up to 3 months at this point, so he won't be with us first semester for sure. As far as the season goes on paper, obviously it looks really, really good, right? But you don't wrestle matches on paper. We, like Brad said, we have a lot of guys coming back, a lot of guys with national tournament experience, a couple All-Americans, a couple round of 12 guys that are very, very close. So that's a good thing. We have a really good freshman class coming in. As far as who goes and who doesn't go, again, a lot of that will be determined come Saturday morning after our indicator matches, when we sit in the office Monday morning with our staff and really game plan who we feel is ready to go. I could pretty much let you know that Jake Benner will be wrestling, Steph Glasgow will be wrestling. Those 2 for sure, unless something happens, obviously, but those 2 for sure will probably see some significant action come November 3rd. We're frontline heavy, right? Meaning we have really 10 really, really good guys on the front line. There is some depth in some weight classes off the top of my head. I think about 141, where there's 3 capable kids that can wrestle. We do have a bunch of guys at heavyweight. We have a transfer in Christian Colucci who's looked really good. So we have some depth up there. You know, with Pagano and Gravina and Janzer and those guys, and Carenti, 84, 97, there's a bunch of guys up there. Max Wright's looked really, really well. But I think we're frontline heavy. There is some spots where we lack a lot of depth. You know, there's not a lot on our roster from 157 to 65 with Santos's injury and things like that, some off-season issues. We're really thin at those 2 weights, so I would anticipate Glasgow and Van Brill's wrestle off to determine who wrestles 57 and 65, which you guys have pretty much talked about all fall long. It is a great schedule. There are 8 home duels here. From what I understand, Oklahoma State's pretty close to being sold out. That's exciting. We want to do that for all 8 matches, get it to the point where every match is a sellout. So we're super excited about bringing Wisconsin in for the first time. Michigan's obviously a big match. We'll do Princeton Super Bowl Sunday, and we'll wrestle Ryder. Ryder, again, is back on the schedule, as I told you, Sunday, December 16th. So those, off the top of my head, highlight some pretty big duels here at the RAC. With a lot of storylines, We'll go to Las Vegas Invite, Cliff Keem Invitational. For the first time in about 4 to 5 years, I think Ashnault's redshirt freshman year, we were in Vegas, and we haven't been back since. That's exciting. To me, that's a mini national tournament in early December. It's a really good indication of where your guys will be at. You got great opportunities to really advance your national ranking, a seed for the Big Ten tournament, all that for the national tournament even. So that's a really, really big tournament with a lot of the best teams in the country going to it. The reason why I think this year is Midlands was we're going to wrestle at the Midlands tournament, the teams that are there, we're going to end up wrestling all of them in our Big Ten duels. So we just didn't want to see the same opponents, and that's really the reason. Now, we will send, and NCAA rules allow us to send 6 guys out there attached on our dime. We could pay for 6 guys, and it doesn't count as a date. So you'll rest assured you'll probably see 6 guys and a staff going out to Midlands over Christmas break, but it won't be on our schedule, and it won't be a complete date for our program. And the last thing before I open it up is our recruiting. We have recruiting's been great. We have 3 really strong commitments that are getting ready, hopefully to sign an NLI here. November 14th, I think that's the date. I could be wrong on that date. I'm not sure. But somewhere in that first week, second week in November, 3 really strong commitments. All of them are in the top 60 pound for pound in the country. We have the number 1 kid, the number 7 kid, and the number 6 kid in their respective weights. Obviously, NCAA rules doesn't allow me to mention their names. You guys who follow our program probably have a pretty good idea who those guys are. Recruiting's been great. And then we also have 2 really good commits for the class of 2020 already. And if you didn't know, you're allowed now, new rules, you're allowed to bring juniors on campus and have official visits for juniors. So we certainly took advantage of those rules and got 2 Jersey boys that are really, really good, ranked in the country in their weight classes, and have commitments from them already. So recruiting's going great. Appreciate all the hard work Coach Pritzloff does with recruiting, Coach Leonardis. Brian Murphy is new on staff from Michigan. He's an All-American from Michigan. He's our new volunteer coach, continuing to compete in the RTC, our regional training center. He's been great for our guys, been great for our middleweights. So we're excited to have him. And Joe Pollard is now our new director of wrestling operations. So for the most part, very consistent. Our staff has stayed intact. They've worked really hard being on the road, recruiting, and getting ready to go down to Super 32 and hopefully land some more guys next week. So everything's good on the recruiting front. Without further ado, let's open up for questions.
Obviously, the first question is Nick going to go 125 or 133?
Again, I mean, I wish we could do this Monday, right, or next Tuesday, because we'd have a really, really good idea. We'll see where he's certified. You know, that'll let that play out. I know we're getting really close, and I'm not hiding anything. I think we just need to let that play out, see where he feels. We'll get a really, really good idea actually these next couple days of where he's even going to wrestle off. So I think that's the safe answer right now without putting words into his mouth.
Is there any way that he could go at both? Because we all know that there's the match in Iowa.
Yeah, I'll wrestle him at 25 and 33. Can we do that?
No, I mean.
Oh, you mean?
Yes.
No, I'm only
different
kidding.
weights during the season. Could he do that?
Yeah, you could. Everybody can do that. You could certify at a certain weight. Like I said earlier, we have guys who are certified down a weight, but they'll probably start the season at their natural weight. And then based on where we're at, how they're feeling, they could always go down. And certainly, based on where he certifies, will tell us a lot. And that'll happen here in the next couple days, and of course this weekend.
He hasn't certified yet.
No.
Okay.
Ashnault has the health looking. He seems he's bigger and stronger. What's his status moving forward as far as how he looks after a full season off?
He looks really good. He looks healthy. He looks exciting. Anytime you get a 6th-year guy, you worry about the college grind, right? You worry about how long they've been doing this. It's a little bit different than international wrestling where you don't always have to wrestle and practice every single day. So I think the staff has been really smart with him and making sure he's had the proper rest during the course of the week and really just paying attention to his body. And we try to do that with all of our guys. Obviously, these young guys can just go. But Anthony will be real, and Nick and Johnny Van Brill and Jordan, guys have been with us for 5 years. We got to really pay close attention to those guys and just keep them healthy. Because like I said, I think we're really top line heavy, and I might be skirting around your question here a little bit. But we just got to be really, really smart, not only Anthony, but all our guys, and make sure we stay healthy. And really that's the company line answer. But he looks really, really good right now.
With Correnti redshirting last year, I think the perception might have been he was going to put on some weight. Rashawn would graduate, he'd become your heavyweight. Did Colucci's arrival kind of maybe change your thinking and maybe suck him down back to 97 again? Or?
No, I think if you talk to Matt, which you probably will hear a little bit, I don't think he ever wanted to be a heavyweight. And people think you just eat, right? You eat. All wrestlers, all they do is starve. So then just eat and you'll get heavy. It doesn't work like that. It's hard to put on that good weight. It can't be bad weight. It's got to be good weight. And he wasn't really able to get more than 225. And just I don't feel like ever since he arrived here he ever wanted to be a heavyweight. So he decided to keep his weight under control, and he's down at 197.
What do you see with the red shirt? How much?
Well, we're hoping. I mean, we need to have a big year at that weight class. That weight class, we have to have a big year. So he's probably put more time. He spent more time here in the summer based on classes and things like that. So he's been around us more. But he's also had a year off, right? He's had a year off, and he wrestled his redshirt year at heavyweight, so you don't get a real indication. He did go out to Las Vegas and wrestle in Junior World Team Trials, which was really good, and he was competing for that. And he prepared for that, so that was really, really good for us. So he's put more time in than he ever has. He's probably had his best preseason that he's ever had. So, he's a national qualifier. We need to make steps and get better and keep getting better. And that's a weight we really need to win at to have a successful season.
You had your highest finish in the country last year. It's your final year with Soriano and Ashnault in the lineup. You have Gravina and Van Brill, who were around the 12 guys last year. With that core group, is there a little added pressure to break that top 10 threshold?
I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, there's always expectations with this program. I think if you asked every guy on our team last year, after the national tournament, we were watching that scoreboard all year long, all tournament long, and we were sitting in 7th and 8th and 9th, and then, Penn State, they seem like they win every national title, right? They win every national title, and then the one guy that needs to win for us kind of lost. So, Valencia is obviously really good, but that knocks us out of the top 10. So we felt we were a top 10 team last year. As far as pressure, no, there's expectations. We feel this program needs to win a trophy at the national tournament. That's where we're at. That's where we have the guys to do it. Of course, it's about putting 3 good days in March together. But, winning a national trophy, winning a tournament at the national trophy is top 4. And we feel we have the horsepower to do. Now, to do that, you're going to have 4 All-Americans, 2 finalists, a champ here or there. That's going to happen. And if we could do that, if we could string that together again and have the same tournament again, we feel we're in that spot. So I don't think there's any pressure to be a top 10 pro. We feel we're a top 10 program. I think there's more pressure to win a trophy at the national tournament, and that's kind of our expectations. We haven't really sat down and said what are our goals, but internally we know that's kind of what's expected. I think that's something Anthony Ashnault's always wanted done since he arrived here, was bring this program to a certain level and win a trophy at that tournament. That's always been his goal. And but I think that's kind of what we're looking at. Will we do it? We'd have to put together a heck of a tournament to do it, and we're going to have to get some help from weights where you probably don't think guys can be an All-American, but at the same time, you probably didn't think Johnny Van Brill would make a run last year, and he did. And the one thing that you don't really talk about at that tournament, we did a really good job of pinning people. You get 2 bonus points every time you score a fall at that tournament. So we pinned a lot of people at the national tournament, and we're going to have to continue to do the same if we're going to do well there.
When Anthony got that extra year, that medical hardship, what did that mean to you as a coach to see that? What was your reaction when that word came down?
I was pretty happy. I mean, obviously, it's pretty well documented what that kid's meant to not only myself but this program. So I was really, really happy for him. I know how bad he wants to do well at this tournament and win a national title, so he gets another opportunity. So I thought of him right away, first and foremost. So he gets this opportunity, and then it was just let's get to work and make sure we're doing the right things, being smart with him, and make sure he's ready to go.
His journey, obviously, like you said, it's well documented.
Yeah.
What has it been like for you as a coach to watch his journey, going from high school undefeated all throughout and then coming into here, Rutgers trying to lift the program, as you had just mentioned? Yeah,
it's been fun. And listen, Lex, you talk about pressure and expectations. There's no doubt there's been pressure on him, right? He could have went anywhere in the country. And he decided to come here, and those first couple years, maybe he wasn't getting out of it what he probably thought. He finished 8th in the country. For him, that wasn't good enough. So there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of expectations. I think Nick coming here maybe relieves some of that. But I think I think Anthony saw what Nick did and wants to do it right side by side with him. So just to watch his whole journey, the way he goes about his business, the way he lives his life, his lifestyle, the way he interacts with kids, runs clinics, deals with our fan base. He's awesome. He's awesome. He's a team guy first. He loves this program. We're hoping to keep him around. That's the goal. But you just you root for a guy like that. We root for all of our guys, right? But we know what Anthony did by coming here right out of high school, and it was great for this program. So excited to watch this last piece of his journey for sure.
Talk about Glasgow a little bit. Coming into this year, 57 or 65. What are your expectations for him?
Man, he's. I wrote this in an article. I don't know if you may have wrote the article, but it was or Brad wrote the article. But he is athletically one of the best kids I've ever coached. He's super, super athletic. He's so fast. I really, when you recruit a kid, you hear the stories. Is he a worker? Is he not a worker? We've tried on multiple occasions to break him, and he pushes through that. So that's exciting. One thing I worry about is health. He's been injured. He's had a couple surgeries, and he's young, so you never want that. He did have a year off last year. He spent half the year at St. Benedict's Prep getting his academics in order, so he was able to come here on campus. So that's been good. There's been a little bit of a rest. Man, he's a super, super talent, but there's more to it that goes into it. It's just not being a talented wrestler. There's your mind. There's how you can handle back-to-back matches, how you can handle the practice room, because he hasn't been unbelievably successful, right? We got guys that can beat him and do beat him. So you worry about all that. I think for me, it's just getting him out on the mat. I'm excited to watch him compete, whatever weight that is. Again, that'll be decided this weekend. But he's a talent, and he's going to do some good things here.
Mike Van Brill, it was pretty close to an at-large bid last year.
Yep.
How important is it for you guys? I presume that he's going to stay at 141. He's been able to maintain the weight, and you've got that guy there who has that experience now. Yeah,
that's big. You don't when you start looking at your lineup, and then we get back from the national tournament, you give 2 or 3 weeks, he's already up to 160, 65 pounds. So he's already thinking he's probably going to move up. And then we get the news on Ashnault, and discipline kicks in for him right away. He's a super disciplined with his diet. He's really, really good that way. We had a game plan from really back in April of where he needed to be at as far as let's check off a list come June 1st. Let's check it off again July 1st. Let's check it off again August 1st. And he hit all those numbers, and he's been super disciplined with his diet. There's something different about Mike right now, and he spent some time. He didn't spend all summer here on campus training with us. He went home, he worked a little bit, he kind of got away from it a little bit, and sometimes that maybe re-energizes you. Maybe that re-energizes you, but he's been doing well right now. He looks really good right now. He's very close to weight. He's been every mark we've done the last 5 weeks, 10 pounds, 8 pounds, 6 pounds, 4 pounds. He's hit those numbers and really practiced and wrestled well. So that's a good weight. Like I said earlier, it's a depth weight. We think he can be better, obviously, be better in the Big Ten, make it to the national tournament, make some noise, or he's dangerous. But we also have another guy, Pete Lapari, who's spent a lot of time here this summer, who's wrestled his tail off and has gotten a lot better. And then we have a redshirt freshman, Rob Cleary, who spent a lot of time here getting better. So that's really the most competitive weight from a who's going to be the guy standpoint right there. So we got some guys there that can wrestle, and but it's good to have experience back. There's no question about it.
How does the Firestone injury affect you at 33, especially if Nick stays down to 25?
Anytime you lose a guy he was our redshirt of the year last year. He had the best open season tournament of all of them. So you need that. It doesn't matter if Nick stays up. We still need him. If Nick goes down, you need him. So, yeah, it affects us. There's no question about it. We're not deep enough to just lose a talent like that and just be okay with it. So there's no question that hurts us. There's no question that hurts us. It hurts not having him in our room. He's a great workout partner. He was a guy who was really, really getting better and was going to build off that redshirt season. So it's a setback. That's part of this sport, though. He's not going to be the last guy to get injured, I could tell you that. So how you deal with it, how you handle it it's going to be up to him. And when he's ready to go, we got to get him back ready to go, maybe quicker than we probably anticipated, but let's go. And he's got to have the right mindset, and I think he has that so far.
We've heard a lot of talk about Glasgow being one of the big newcomers. You mentioned Benner as well.
Yep.
Anyone else you expect to make an immediate impact this year as a freshman?
Depending on the weights, I think that can happen. I'm very high on Nick Aguilar, who's our 25-pounder from California, and I'm very high on Billy Janser. Those guys have really, really stuck out to me as far as freshmen coming on campus, being somewhat ready to go right away. Now, can they really be super successful in the Big Ten Conference? I don't know if they're there yet. I don't know that yet. I think they're working at it every single day, but I'm really, really impressed with their work ethic and how they go about their business every single day, not only on the wrestling mat, but in the classroom. Two guys that really get it and understand it and don't ever come across our desk. And that's pretty important when you're first starting out your career. I think Malcolm Robinson can wrestle. He's from Blair Academy. He's been all over the country. He's wrestled the best competition. I think he needs some time. Certainly talented, but needs some time. Does that mean he's going to redshirt? I would say probably. Right now, if you're asking me right now, probably. But those guys really, those five freshmen, including Benner and Glasgow, really, really stick out. And I think Max Wright, who's a kid from Ohio, lived in Georgia, transferred from the Air Force Academy, is someone who's gotten better every single day. He's gotten better every single day, so he'll wrestle. He's going to wrestle too. So, he's not going to redshirt, and that'll help us too with some depth. He's pretty good too. So those guys kind of stick out to me. But like I said, Glasgow and Benner, for sure are going to go.
Now, this will be your last year in the College Avenue gym, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that you built the program there, built it into kind of what it is now, how emotional or sentimental will this last season in that gym be?
Not at all. It won't be emotional. I do love that place. But that building, you got to take a look. You got to bring that Channel News over there and take a look at that building. That thing is unbelievable. So there's just not enough room in College Ave. And, it's nice now. They turn the heat on October 15th, so we control the heat. Now that heat's going to go off. Let's be honest. It's going to be freezing. The showers are going to get cold. And I'm not complaining about it. I'm just being honest with you. We won't miss it. We'll be fine.
At the same time, though, I think when Nick came here, he called it a dungeon and said that appealed to him. Do you worry at all about losing that edge, going to that palatial, shiny building? I don't know.
A little bit. There's something to be said for having that, to being able to walk out of your dorm, boom, you're in your facility. To be able to walk down from your apartment, boom, you're in the facility. Something to be said for that. But I think we'll get used to it, right? And that's our job as a staff. Make it hard. Make it tough. You don't have to spruce it up with all the – listen, we're not going to be selling milkshakes in there and after practice. We're not going to be doing that. It'll be tough. It'll be hard. And we'll make it dungeony. We'll have our pull-up bars. They told me I'm not allowed to bring some of my stuff over from College Ave. We'll sneak some stuff in there. It'll be all right. So you need the space. You need the space. Right now we're splitting practices all the time. And that's, it's hard to lock in as a coaching staff for 5 hours. So you want to have all your guys together. Thankfully we have this RTC. We're allowed to split a little bit, but it's tough to lock in for that long and keep track of everybody. So you want to have everybody training together.
And I guess how big is that in recruiting when you can take a recruit and his family?
Huge. Yeah, it's a great question. It's you have no idea. These kids nowadays, this is right. It's 2018. They want the glam and the glitter, and they want that. That's what they want. That's what we're selling them, and they get it. It's a brand new. It's one of the best and biggest in the country. It's an awesome, awesome facility. It's something we needed, and everything's right there now. So it's really, really good.
You just touched on the RTC. Can you talk about how that partnership with Princeton and the NJRTC has benefited the Rutgers wrestling program this offseason?
Yeah, it's been great. We hired Reese Humphrey as a coach. We do work with Princeton and Rutgers, so there's 3 days he's here. There's 3 days he's down at Princeton. Our guys are obviously able to go down there. More so in the summer, they were going down there quite a bit, and those Princeton guys come up here. So it's kind of interesting because you got, Kolodzik, Ashnault, 1 and 2 in the country. They're working out together all summer. So there's a little bit different dynamic there, but that's wrestling, and there's plenty of partners to go around, and we're continuing every single day to try keep bringing in partners. And that's really the benefit. And if you look at the best guys in the best programs in the country, the Penn States, the Iowas, the Ohio States, right in our own conference, they all have great RTCs. So we were fortunate enough to hire Reese Humphrey and with that attract some regional training center guys, some resident athletes that are going to continue to compete. And then the best part is hopefully you continue to do it within. So now guys like Ashnault and whoever wants to continue to wrestle have a place, and Soriano and Van Brill and those guys have a place to train, stay, continue to wrestle, and be around our guys and help our college athletes.
Coach, what do you say to the schedule this year? Obviously, Oklahoma State's coming in here. Talk about that one a little bit because they've never been here, and that's historically a great program. I remember back in May you mentioned you're really excited for that one. What's it? How real does that feel that they're actually coming here on the big stage?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, just because I'm a wrestling fan too, right? I'm a wrestling fan. They have 34 national titles. I never signed up for this to just have wins. That's not really important to me. I love the atmosphere of wrestling the best programs. I love the fact we're going to go on the road and have an unbelievable challenge at Carver Hawkeye Arena. I love the fact Oklahoma State is coming here. That's pretty cool. And, obviously they're very good, and John Smith's one of the best, not only wrestlers ever, but one of the best coaches ever. So it's great that he's coming here and gets the chance that I'm sure they want to come here, right? Everybody wants to recruit New Jersey, so they'll come here and try to put on a show. But that's the challenge of the whole thing. And again, it's pretty special that they're here. But here's the thing: now let's beat them, right? Let's try to beat them. It's not just we're bringing a team in just to have a team here. Let's try to win some big important bouts and let's try to make it a match. And we certainly feel we can do that. All good? One more, Lex?
The addition to Ryder on the schedule, that's always been an online chat room kind of back and forth banter. Can you talk about the importance of that match, not just for the rivalry itself, but for the importance of New Jersey wrestling as a whole?
Well, Lex, you had to end it with that, huh, buddy? Yeah, it's something we had them off our schedule for 5 years for certain reasons, whether it was my doing or their doing or whatever the case might be. They were off our schedule, and that's okay. Now they want to get it back going, and we'll get it back going. I guess they say we're 20 minutes down the road. We should wrestle each other. I don't know if that's really true. What does that mean? I mean, we're given 9 dates by the Big Ten. We have to wrestle, and then there's 2 tournaments you start with, so you're already at 11 dates. So it is what it is. They're on our schedule. We'll go back there next year and then see where it's at. But I hope it's important for New Jersey. I hope they show up here. That's what, that was always the thing. We want to make sure the match is an important match. And listen, Ryder runs it. They're a great program. Coach Ainsley's a great coach, and I respect the heck out of everything they do. Now, if we're going to make it, we've turned Princeton into a pretty big deal, right? Princeton's turned into a pretty big deal. Let's hope Ryder does the same thing. So we look forward to getting all the New Jersey people together. Their fans, our fans. There's been a lot of banter. It's been good. I don't mind that. That's good. That's some storylines there. So we'll look forward to that. We'll circle that thing come December 16th for sure.
Last question. I guess 2 things off of that. One, I know you have the trophy with Princeton. Is there any plan to do something like that with Ryder?
We haven't had that discussion, okay. No.
And if you're definitely going to their gym, because if there's 8,000 people here, it would, Trenton Arena, something like that. You maybe could fill. It definitely will be at their place.
They don't care. They want us to go back to their gym. That's part of the deal. So I think we're going to be going back to alumni. I think it's alumni gymnasium. So that's part of the contract. So we'll do it. Guys, I appreciate you. I really do. Thanks for coming out, and hopefully get some good stuff from our guys.